everybody, welcome back to this devlog number 4 on City of the Fallen. Last week I've been taking a break, went out in nature, camping with friends, relaxed. I'm recharged now, ready to go back to the project. I took that time to write a bit on the story, gathered some inspiration and ideas, wrote down a couple things for the future, and realigned my vision for the project. But before I left for that week, I worked on a water shader. So I started with the basic normal map that they displace over the surface. Afterwards, I tackled the refraction, and for this one I had a couple problems because since it's a screen space effects, it was picking up edges for some objects that were outside of the water. So like this rock that you see here, like refracting also the edges. So I had to do a bit of maths to counter this effect. I'm pretty happy with the results. So it's linked to the normal texture, and I have a coefficient where I can modify the refraction intensity and how much it refracts the inside of the water, basically. Then I tackled some gradients to have like a depth color to the water so that it looks like it's a dense body. So like I have two colors where I can play one for the deep water color and the shallow color watercolor. I can modify the depth and the how much it affects the image that is rendered behind the water surface. It uses the depth difference between the surface and the objects behind to modify the color and add a tint based on that gradient. So afterwards, I've tackled the surface itself. So not only the screen space effects and the depth, but the surface effects. So it uses the normal map, but I tried different workflow. I ended up using a metallic workflow, so I can easily have reflections and reflection probes. So I modified how the colors are affected too, but at the end I can see some of the environment depending on the angle on the water surface and also the skybox. So that's pretty cool, and it also works with reflection probes. Later on, I maybe would like to add some caustic effects in the water, but that's going to be for another day. Other than the shader, I've worked with some tools for me to be able to change the strategy of each movable in blocks easily. So let's say this one is flagged as fixed, but I also change instead of having different scripts for every type of movables and like all they react to events and queries on the grid, they have now a strategy, so a controller, and I can choose the different types. I didn't yet migrate all the types yet, so I have the two basic ones now, and I want to have all the options here so that I can that are related to the type you select. So it's going to be way easier to just be able to swap the movable strategy, and even at runtime I have a feature idea where some blocks can change behaviors at runtime, so this will allow me to do this later on. Regarding this, I changed how the grid API works. So like let's say I want to query a location on the grid. Now it queries with a physics check, so every block has now a collider, but it's not used for collision and doesn't have any rigid body. It's only to check for like positioning, so I can check if there's a block here, so I can give, let's say, this coordinate, and it will tell me if there's something in that location, including this entire movable. So I can query groups like this, even if they're grouped, it will give me the corresponding group and not the inner movable. I'm also working hard on some technical tasks that are just so boring to explain, but if you enjoyed, hit subscribe, the notification bell so you get notified when I release a new one, and join the community Discord channel. I'll see you there. Take care.